Okay, we are back. Constantine, Lucas, Rocco, Cowboy over there on the bottom left. Um,
What is up?
we're in the middle of ranking the or grading the Suns. Constantine had just given them a B, gave a couple good reasons. We have that at the back of episode 2. So yeah, Lucas, go ahead and give your grade to the Phoenix Suns.
I'm going to give the Phoenix Suns a B. Just because what was expected from them with Booker, Durant, CP3, Ayton. Ayton probably one of the most disappointing players to like this playoffs, I would say. And that team, you can't have Booker and Durant playing all 48 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, like they had to combine for 80 points for them to win. You can't win with a team like that. You need a bench, and all they had was Cameron Payne and some 5-day contract players. Like I don't know, so
For sure. Ryan, Suns grade?
what?
I don't know what's going on with Ryan. I can't hear him. He's speaking.
Hey, buddy, are you there?
All right, Rocco, you go first. He's talking to someone.
Yeah, it's fine. He's in some sort of different area right now. He's in a different state.
I'm back. It's fine.
Give your Suns rating.
All right. Sorry, guys. I'd probably just say B plus. Expected what they did. Would have wanted them to go a bit further. I really like Booker, but whatever happened. They
Fair.
probably would have been high. They would have been a higher seed if Durant played the whole season with them, and that would have changed their outcome a lot.
That's definitely true. That would have changed up the bracket. Yeah,
That's my take.
for the Suns, I would say B minus. I think they could have done a lot better. I think they gave up. Like, although obviously getting Durant took them further than having McHale and all these pieces would have, but they gave up a ton of depth for Durant. And so that ended up leaving them with no bench pieces, like Lucas said, 2 guys playing 48 minutes. That's just not going to be a recipe for success. There's a furry in our Google Meet, but that's not going to stop me from saying that the Suns going to be minus. And final team in the conference semifinals, we have the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I'll give the Warriors a B minus. I think even though they were defending champs, I didn't expect them to win 6 playoff games. So yeah, I'll give them a B minus. I mean, they got really lucky. They have had injury problems the entire year, and everybody came back at the exact perfect time. But yeah, I'll give them a B minus. They definitely impressed me more than they disappointed me.
I'll say C plus. And most of that grade comes from the Kings series. They played really well against the Kings, I say. But they kind of choked against the Lakers. And most of that blame goes on Steve Kerr and Jordan Poole. Because Kerr did not know what to do with Poole, who was horrific. But at the same time, he can't really play anybody else because they don't have. I mean, Moses Moody was a good option, or GP2, but GP2s, they're both defensive guys. So, yeah.
Fair.
I'd probably say B minus. Similar to Constantine, like similar rating. They're defending champs. Everyone came back at the time they wanted, so that's obviously a plus. But they didn't get to play together all year, so you're not just going to spawn in chemistry, although they played together for so long. It also didn't help that Jordan Poole was a stinker. Although he had all the baddies on the sidelines, he still couldn't do anything.
Yeah, he took Ice Spice on a date for $500,000.
And he did everything. Steve Kerr got everyone in there for him. And he was averaging 5 a game. Good looks, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give him a C plus, and the reason why is because like my other grades, I am basing a lot of this on looking ahead, and they do not have a bright future. In my opinion, I don't know what Draymond's situation is. He's a free agent. Klay Thompson is significantly worse each year. I know he's coming off injury, but still, regular season he did great, but playoffs he just wasn't the same guy. He can't defend anymore. Jordan Poole is a cone. There's a lot of guys who just aren't really contributing that well. And one thing that Lucas said that is really important, I think, Steve Kerr did not look like his normal self in this series at all. He looked like a total shell of himself. He got outcoached by Darvin Ham, who, in my opinion, is not a good coach. First year or not, he did not look like a good coach in the Denver Nuggets series. He put one adjustment in again to game one with Rui, which we'll talk about when we talk about the Lakers. But even still, I don't like the way that ended. I don't know who that person is with Ryan behind him. It's him. Oh, Constantine. But yeah, I don't know if I love the future for the Warriors. I'll give him a B minus C plus. But yeah, so then now looking to the conference finals, we're gonna go Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I'll give the Celtics a C plus. I don't have any problem with them losing to the Heat, but the fact that they lost Game 4 at home after having an opportunity to make history.
Game 7.
Yeah, sorry, Game 7. After that would have been their fourth game they won.
Right.
Yeah, I was really excited for that, and if they disappointed me, they disappointed the entire city of Boston. So I'll give them a C plus.
The entire city.
They didn't have to make the finals to impress me, but they should have won that fourth game.
Fair.
Yeah. Even like the first round, I'll give them a C plus B minus. Like they gave up 2 freebies to the Hawks, which is like
they didn't hustle.
I mean, they didn't really play any defense. They kind of just
so terrible.
They kind of just like wandered around thinking they were hot shit and they're gonna win. The Philly series was probably the most impressed I was by them. And then the Heat series, man, Jaylen Brown completely sold.
No left hand.
Tatum was just average, and you can't do that against the Heat, who are just gonna take advantage of that. So I'll give him a C plus.
Okay, Ryan.
I think you guys are a bit harsh there. I would give them probably a B plus, almost an A minus. If you think about it realistically, before the season started, you'd think the Celtics are a conference finals team. And they ended up being
not in the fashion that they got there, but yeah, I suppose.
And then it doesn't matter that they were down 3-0. They were to the conference finals to 7 games. They're 1 game away from being an NBA finals team. If you just take away the path, all of that aside, they did what they're supposed to do. They almost made the conference.
They also got blown out in the
I'm going to ask you this, Ryan. Before the season started, where do you think the Knicks were going to be?
Obviously dead last, the New York Knicks.
So what the hell?
Why didn't they get an A++?
This is some bias.
Yes, heavily biased. If you play Derrick Rose, you got a higher rating.
Okay, I see where this is going. Okay, I got it.
Wait, can you move your head to the left or right?
It's Aiden. That's why we were laughing before, Constantine. We're not laughing at your takes. We're laughing at the photos he has behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that type of bias is. I think that you guys were too generous because the Celtics have the deepest roster in the league. They have probably the most talented roster in the league. And they let a playing team take them to 6. They let a fraudulent, inconsistent Harden and 10-point per game drop off Embiid and fraudulent Doc Rivers take them to 7.
Yeah.
And they almost lost, even though they did have a pretty good, Tatum went crazy in that last game, but still, they almost lost that series. And then for them I was most impressed by them in the Heat series in those those games 4, 5, and 6 coming back, but to go down 0-3 to, although they were doing really well and they were very hot, a playing team. We got D Rose here. I think that was not. If you would have asked me before the playoffs, like Ryan said, yes, the Celtics were going to the conference finals, but I think they're taking the Hawks in 5, Sixers in 5 or 6, Heat in 5 or 6, and they're making the finals. If you asked me before that, and I mean, for them to lose, especially in the fashion that they did, I'm gonna have to say a C for them. But at the end of the day, I think if Missoula is not there and it's Ime, I think they're in the championship right now. So I don't think it's the Celtics team. I think it's the Celtics roster, or I don't think it's the Celtics roster. I think it's the Celtics coaching. But regardless, I'll give them a C. So now we have the final team of this segment, Los Angeles Lakers. I have my little thing here. This is my
Wait,
friend.
and there's another one, right?
I forgot a team.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, so the LA Lakers. For our grade, if you would have asked me in the first two series, I'm saying, B plus, because like
Same,
I
man.
mentioned before, we weren't supposed to be here. So the fact that we did make it to the conference finals is pretty impressive. But I'm gonna say B minus, C plus at the end of the playoffs because we just looked so pitiful against Denver. I mean, Darvin Ham was not making. He doesn't call timeouts. He doesn't make adjustments frequently. He made one adjustment. I think LeBron it was a huge reason for us losing that series. He's just settling for deep threes late in the game instead of trying to find him or not Embiid. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was also horrible in those games, especially in the second half. We couldn't figure out a way to stop Jokic, which obviously is a tall task, but even still, Jamal Murray was giving us 30 a game. Bruce Brown was giving us 15 points on great efficiency, great defense. So overall, I'll say we get a B minus for the playoffs. So Constantine,
Yeah,
Lakers.
I'll give them an A minus. I mean, if you asked any sports analyst or former NBA player pre-playoffs, they were very confident that the Lakers would not do well, and they ended up winning two series against two highly praised teams. I know they got obliterated by Denver, but I mean all the games were close. Like they played Denver like arguably almost just as well as the Suns did.
That is true.
And yeah, I'm very confident in my A minus rating.
That's right. I'm going to interject here before Luke's goes. Just two things I have to say. One thing, it might seem like a B minus is harsh for me, but like I said in the other ratings, I am basing it strongly on the future. And as a
Yeah,
Lakers fan, I don't see us having a strong future
yeah,
in
no.
any way, shape, or form. And also, I saw Ryan make a face when Constantine said that the Lakers played them close. I was watching a podcast today, and Michael Porter Jr. himself said that the Lakers were their toughest matchup of the playoffs, just in case you're wondering. So, Lucas, you can go.
I'm gonna give him a B plus. They dominated the Warriors. They dominated the Grizzlies. They fell short against the Nuggets, but the Nuggets are the best team in the league. AD played phenomenal defense throughout the entire playoffs. The first two series, he was great offensively. But yeah, like the Celtics, I blame most of it on the coach. But they still have some bright spots. I mean, LeBron, he's going to keep going until whenever. AD's looked great. Reeves, if they can
Reeves,
re-sign him. I don't know what's going to happen to Rui, but
he
all
was
those
good.
guys, they did well during the playoffs, so I'll give them a B plus. And they're also a playing team too, like the Heat.
Yeah.
So.
And we do have a lot of free agents, so the team it could look totally different next year. But yeah, so Ryan, also Lakers. I can feel like a little bit of Lakers hate coming from this one, but it's fine.
I'm gonna say B minus. As much as I want to hate on LeBron here, he did what he could. Last series he blew. Can't really blame the coaching staff though for the Lakers because there's really no coach like that's gonna affect what LeBron wants to do. Like LeBron's basically the coach of any team he's on. So you can't really blame the staff. I think to get to where they did is very impressive. LeBron let them down like in the final series, but fine series or fine run all in all.
I like that. That's good.
It's a good take.
I don't think things are going to be looking any brighter. I think you have to give a little bit of blame to Darvin Ham. I mean, I see where you're coming from with the LeBron being the coach of the team, but I think that has drastically changed as he's this year because he's not the same player he used to be. So he's giving up a little bit more control because defensive adjustments and players that are being subbed in is not really up to LeBron. I don't think like Rui coming in to defend and then just that whole situation. I think it was a good adjustment, but regardless, I agree. LeBron definitely let us down and definitely underwhelming. But yeah, so that's all of that. We are not going to grade the finals teams because the season's not over for them. But final segment of the show, we have top 5 free agents deserving of big contracts. Um, just I guess to make this go a little bit quicker, we could do Constantine, Lucas, Ryan, and me, and we'll just do so in order. Like I said, Constantine, you'll read 5 and 4. Lucas will read his 5 and 4. Ryan will read his 5 and 4, and then I'll read my 5 and 4. Oh,
Ryan has to leave.
okay.
So 5
So
and
we'll
4.
just do us three.
Yeah. I'll say my 5 is Nikola Vucevic. I think he's a really
Whoa.
Oh fuck!
wait.
Wait,
What?
this is your number 5 or number 1?
My number
5.
5.
Oh, okay.
He's doing it right, but I don't know why the hell that bum is on the list. But let's go.
Yeah, I'll wait. Let me think this through.
Johnson, you can count player options too.
I don't know where I would find that list.
No, I think. Did you just look up the website for free agents because it shows all of them?
Yeah, yeah.
Is
I mean, I would.
Is
Vucevic
Chris Middleton
for-
on the list? Is Chris Middleton on your list of players you were looking at?
Yes, he
Yeah, so
is.
he has the player options on there. Okay,
Um,
go ahead. 5 and 4.
yeah, I honestly think I'd rather have Vucevic than Porzingis, so I'll put him at the 5. I do. Maybe it's just because Porzingis doesn't make enough noise on the Wizards, but I really respect what Vuce does.
You guys are gonna be shocked at my list then. All right, so you're 4 now, or you could keep going and talk about Vucevic if you'd like.
Yeah, that's my 5, and then my 4, I'll give it to Fred VanVleet. I think he's a really underrated point guard. He's not the most efficient, but he can pass, he can shoot, he can steal. He can do a lot of things. So I think he'll complement a lot of teams nicely.
He's been so solid. He had a really, really bad year, but
Yeah.
2 years ago he was great. He was an all-star. So yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas?
Wait, we're not doing all of them?
No, just 5 and 4, and then we'll do 3, 2, 1.
So my 5 is actually going to be Jeremy Grant, just because I think
Dang.
he gives a team a lot of value that I think other players can't. He's also, I'm not sure what his injury track record is, but I'm pretty sure he plays in like most, if not all,
Yeah, he does.
of the games. And every team he's been on, he's been probably the best role player out of all the other of his teammates. So yeah, I have Jeremy Grant. Knicks, please sign him. Okay.
You don't, dude. I was texting you about this dude. His contract is going to be fucking massive. You don't want him on the Knicks.
I'd rather him than Randall. All right.
That's fair.
Wait, wasn't there Grant twins on the Knicks at one point? Or brothers, not twins. Brothers?
No, there was one Grant.
Oh.
Wait, he has a brother?
Jerry and Grant, yeah. I have his jersey.
Oh yeah, I do know that guy. Okay. Who was your number 4? Oh, you didn't say it yet. My fault.
Number 4.
Take your time. I didn't mean to.
I would also have to say Fred VanVleet, just because he's been an all-star, even though he had a rough year. He can score, he can pass. He's a good. He can be an all-star. So how can you not have him on the list?
Okay.
Jordan Clarkson averaged a quiet 28. I didn't even notice that.
He's a free agent?
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't put him on my list. Anyways. 5, I have the same thing as Lucas, Jeremy Grant. Big wing. He can shoot the 3 a little bit. Great all-around player. He's like a Swiss Army knife guy you can look at to help you with like all aspects. He does a little bit of everything, you know. So I like him. I don't love, his contract. Like I said, it's going to be big. He wants a lot of money, but he can bring a lot to a team. 4, I have Josh Hart. He was huge in the beginning of the season for the Portland Trail Blazers, similar to Jeremy Grant, averaging like record number rebounds, I'm pretty sure, for a guard for like that stretch. He's a great rebounder. He was kind of fluky with the threes, but he was doing good except for that playoff series against the Heat. He was really solid from 3. Especially when he first got on the Knicks after the deadline. So yeah, I'll give 4 to Hart, 5 to Grant. Yeah, and so Constantine 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Wait, Rocco, do you have Kyrie or Harden on your list?
I have one of them. I'm not gonna tell you who though.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll put James Harden at 3. I think he still has some juice left in the tank. I was disappointed from his performance in the playoffs, but I mean, he almost won an assist title, or did he win an assist title?
I think he did.
Yeah, he did win. So he can definitely help out a team. Again, very disappointing season. He's not the same Rockets or even Nets Harden. But yeah, I'm comfortable with him at 3. And then my 2 might be kind of a surprise, but I have Brooke Lopez. I
I
think
like that.
I think he's an amazing player. First team all defense. He shot almost 40% from 3, and like he has range, dude. Like, he's taking like 5 steps behind the line and draining them. I think he's a great player. Him and Harden are similar age, and I think I'd rather have him on my team than Harden, assuming that team's looking for a big man, not a shooting guard. But yeah, I really like him there. And then I don't like saying my number 1, but it is Kyrie. I mean, he complimented LeBron really well for the 2 years they were together. But those teams he was on since then, he really didn't make them better. I mean, the Celtics were in the exact same spot with him on the team and without him. Same thing goes for the Nets. And the Mavs got even worse. So I don't think he affects winning very well. But I mean, he has the best handles in the league. He can, average 28. And I still think he has championship caliber play left in him. So, yeah.
Okay, I was going to put Brooke Lopez on my list, but I think it's pretty much a lock for the Bucks to re-sign him. So I don't really consider that like a true free agent. So I'm just gonna
I respect that.
leave him off my list. And 3, he's not the most skilled guy, but I'm really curious to see what happens. I'm gonna put Draymond Green at 3 because the Warriors
Wait a minute.
GM
You think he's deserving of a big contract?
on the right team, I think he can be a key player. Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Go
are we
ahead. Go
doing
ahead.
just big contracts?
No, go for it. I was just thinking. I mean, with his age and the way he's game is not the same. I was just surprised to see that you think he deserves a good big contract. But if you think so, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I just think he adds that element to the game
Definitely a big
that,
leadership element.
yeah, and the passing is like it's unbelievable from him. Defense, the offense, it's not gonna be there with him, but you can if you have a good coach and good players around you, you can find a way to get around that. Um, and I don't know if he'll re-sign with the Warriors because their GM just left. So we'll see what happens with him, but he could be a good fit for a couple of teams. Number 2, I have James Harden. He should have been an All-Star this year. I know he did not play that great in the playoffs, but some of that had to do with the coaching and Embiid not being who he should have been. But he's still an All-Star at the end of the day. And how old is he? He's like mid-30s almost.
Yeah, he's like 34.
He's got a few more years left, I would say. There have been rumors of him going back to the Rockets. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'll end
But
up.
I think he said he wants to play for contender also. So it's either you play for one of the worst teams in the league or you go play for a Phoenix Suns or like a
Yeah,
Bucks or someone like that.
I don't know how it's gonna work out. That's gonna be interesting.
Sure.
And then number 1, I also have Kyrie.
Okay.
He has too much skill. The off-court stuff is the only problem with him, but he's gonna give you at least like 25 a game. He's clutch too. Plays average defense, which is the NBA is not about defense during the regular season. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, before I say my top three, I want to ask Constantine a question, and then I'm going to ask you a question, Lucas. Constantine, where do you think would be a good spot for Brook Lopez to go? Just like out of
Uh,
curiosity, like where do you
I
think
think
he could?
from the Knicks, honestly. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, the Knicks. I think you could do well in Portland, maybe. Yeah, I like those options for him.
He could be. I think he could be huge on Phoenix
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
instead of Aiton. That would
but
be
then what
big.
Aiton?
What?
What would they do with Aiton?
Treat him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of value though. But anyways,
Yeah.
and then Lucas, where do you? I know you said you think he could be a good on different teams. Where do you think Draymond would be good in? Like, do you see him
I
on?
would say if they get rid of if the Blazers get rid of Jeremy Grant, he could be good with them. Dame, Anthony Simons, um, the Rockets, even with all those young players, he could be a good
That could be
leader for
good.
them.
Coming as a leader.
Um, yeah, there's not too many teams. Obviously, if he resigns with the Warriors, that'd be good because he knows that system. I was gonna say the Thunder, but now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't
No,
really
no.
make much sense.
I think he might be the
Um,
Warrior to win a championship, like for the rest of his career.
What?
I think out of all the current Warriors, I think he's most likely to win a championship, like in the rest of his career.
Out of
yeah,
the Warriors dynasty core, yeah.
Yeah.
because he does
It's like those young guys have a
have
chance. But yeah, I know
value.
what you mean.
Yeah, I mean he's always sucking off LeBron, so maybe he'll
Yeah,
go to the
he really does that,
Lakers.
dude. A little
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
Um,
so
Now before I read my top three list, when I was, the top five free agents deserving of big contracts, I really took the big contracts thing to heart. So I'm picking guys who have futures ahead of them, like, and are showing uptrends, which is why my list is going to look a lot different. At least two of my three guys are.
Yeah.
So at three, I have Yaka Pirtle,
Okay. That's a
center for
decent.
the Raptors. I mean, he had a
Yeah.
career season with the Spurs, and I think when you look at the centers in the NBA, or at least big men, you look at obviously Jokic, Embiid, Sabonis, Bam, and then after that, I guess you could look at Randall, but Yaka Pirtle's in that conversation as like one of those tier two big men, and he could make a jump. He was huge rebounding, huge defensively. He can score inside. He can shoot mid range. He could definitely work on the three as well. I could see him becoming a good 3-point shooter down the
Yeah.
line, maybe like a Brook Lopez type. And I think a contending team like the Phoenix Suns, if they give him a decent contract and move off of Aiden, that can clear up a little bit of money because I know Aiden's under a lot of money. And so being able to get a little bit of a cheaper contract in Pirtle, and considering also he's on the Raptors, so if you're thinking about, or he's going to be a free agent coming from the Raptors, pair him up with somebody who just left, trade for a guy like OG or something for Phoenix, I'm saying, like
Yeah.
maybe an Aiton for OG and pay pieces kind of thing. Phoenix really built something strong there. Maybe get a Fred to replace Chris Paul because he's aging, something like that. Yeah, so Jakob Poeltl I have at 3. 2, I have Kyrie. For a lot of the similar reasons you guys did. The only reason I didn't put him number 1 is because, like I said, I'm looking at big contracts, and like Lucas said, you can't rely on him. He's going to ask out of the team. He's going to start talking about Jewish people on his Instagram account. So it's really hard to determine what he's going to do,
Yeah.
which is why I don't know if he's deserving of a big contract. And now,
I'm really curious.
number 1 just had a career year, highest points per game he's averaging his career. 1.5 blocks. He's averaging the highest steals he's ever averaged in his career. Second highest assists he's ever averaged in his career. Highest defensive rebounds he's ever, or second highest defensive rebounds he's ever averaged in his career. Shot 65% from the field, and
Jesus.
highest he shot in free throws. Kristaps Porzingis.
You shot
I think
65 field?
65% from the field. Yeah,
Jesus.
I
I wouldn't
think.
be mad to reunion.
No, I'm such a dumbass. 56%.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was reading it
It's
backwards.
still impressive.
56%.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Effective field goal percentage, and he shot 40% from 3, nearly 39%,
Yeah.
and 50% from normal field, not EFG. But I like Porzingis a lot, and I think when you're looking at a team, I think I said before, like if you look at him on, he could make a lot of teams contenders. Phoenix, teams like that, a lot of different teams contenders. that's pretty much all to say about Porzingis.